Hey you, welcome to my channel. My name is Tori, and if you're new here, I'm new here too, so thank you for being here. Last night on my way home, I was finishing up my last video, and I realized that I could make a whole nother video with the content that I was talking about. I started talking about like a whole different topic, so I just figured that would be better if I made a separate video. Since it was one video and I'm splitting them into two, I don't have an intro or an outro for that one, so this is going to be the intro, and I hope that you can get something from it. A lot of people think, oh, I'm too self-aware. I'm too self-aware. Especially you'll see in like the mental health or mental illness communities, I've seen this a lot where people will say that. I'm so self-aware, like my therapist always tells me I'm so self-aware and like that's my problem, or like it still doesn't help me. Sometimes I notice that it's not self-awareness that you think it is. Sometimes it's overthinking. Maybe it's not self-awareness. Maybe you're overanalyzing your behavior. Maybe you're overthinking. Maybe you're assuming, making assumptions about what people may think about you or how you're coming across. And then that kind of leads into like, what is self-awareness? And are we judging our behaviors? So are you self-aware, or are you judging yourself? If you have this mentality or this idea, I'm too self-aware and that doesn't help me, or, you know, it's hard to be so self-aware and not be able to control my behavior or something like that, I think that's where I would also, you know, give some unsolicited advice that there's a willingness to take action that needs to be put into place when working towards healing and growth. How willing are you to surrender to the process? How willing are you to trust the process? How willing are you to admit the ways in which you fall short? And are you able to admit that you fell short without falling into a shame pattern? I was talking about this with one of my close friends the other day. I was telling her that your shame is going to keep you sick. We think that we're going to be a better person by admitting we were wrong. But if we're letting ourselves be overcome with shame and guilt so intensely that it perpetuates a cycle of self-abuse and self-harm, negative self-talk, judging ourselves, criticizing ourselves, that's not being a better person. That kind of mindset also debilitates us. How likely are we to try to make changes or even be able to make changes when we're talking down on ourselves so hard, or we're committed, maybe without even realizing it, to thinking so negatively about ourselves or judging ourselves, feeling like you have to punish yourself. I don't know about anybody else, but shame is not productive. It's not conducive to the healing process. Healing is reducing shame and digging it up and showing light on it so we can release it. I never got anywhere with shaming myself there. I never made the progress I needed to make in my healing by shaming myself into it. We can take accountability for our behaviors and our past actions and work on being a better person, and we can do that without living in shame. I think that there's the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt is I did something bad, and shame is I am bad. At my core, I am a bad person. And so when we enter or strive to continue our healing journey, but we're stuck in a shame cycle, it's going to hurt a lot to try to be a better person, quote unquote. And you're going to make it that much harder for yourself because shame has us believe that we don't deserve to be a better person. We don't deserve good things. We also talked about, and I feel like this could be helpful to everybody, we also talked about how you can try to heal and recover life, whatever works. We stay in recovery for our parents or for our partners or for our friends or for our kids. But there comes a point where you can only do that for so long. And in my opinion and from my experience, we can only get so far in our recovery when we're doing it for other people. At the end of the day, we need to care about ourselves enough to believe that we deserve better, that we can make it, that we can heal and have a better life for ourselves. And when the fear is there of I fear that I'm a bad person, our motivation to heal is I want to be a better person for everybody around me. And when there's so much shame instilled in you, for whatever reason, we don't realize that we're not going to be a better person to everybody else if we feel like we are bad people. And what I mean by that is similar to, and I told her this too, is the analogy that mothers can't put their children first without putting themselves first. If a mom is tired or hungry, she's not going to be able to put her kids first or be the best mom she can be for her kids unless she puts herself first. And it's the same analogy of you have to put your oxygen mask on before you help others. We're not martyrs. We're not noble for caring about everybody else or putting everybody else before ourselves. We're actually not showing up for other people the way they need us to when we neglect ourselves. And I think that the idea that a lot of us have who have struggled with mental health have that a little bit distorted in our minds, where we feel like we'll be better people when we help everybody else out first. That doesn't work that way. We have to show up for ourselves first and care about ourselves first and love ourselves first in order to show up as genuinely and as full as we can for the people that we love. If someone hates themselves and they tell me that they love me and they tell me all these good things, of course I appreciate that. But sometimes if I know that you don't like yourself, it doesn't really mean that much coming from people that don't love themselves, how much they love you. Because in my mind it's like, well, that's not saying much, because to you, everyone is better than you. And you love everybody else more than you love yourself. So you telling me that you love me and I'm this great person, if you don't believe that about yourself and I see that, it just doesn't come off as genuine. Even though it is and the intention is genuine, you're coming from a more pure place when you hear someone that's confident and secure and that loves themselves tell you that they love you and they believe in you. It just feels a lot more, maybe genuine isn't the right word, but it feels a lot like there's more magic in that. I don't know if that makes sense, and it might be, and I don't mean for that to be insulting. The shame aspect brings me to a story that I love. It's a grandfather who tells his grandson the story of two wolves. The story is, the grandfather tells the grandson, there are two wolves inside each of us, and they often go to battle with each other. And one wolf is filled with hate and anger and pride and jealousy and, all bad, evil things and thoughts. And the other wolf is filled with peace and trust and kindness and loyalty and humility and honor and, all the good good qualities and good traits. And the grandson goes, well, which wolf wins? And the grandfather goes, the one you feed. And I feel like that is such a profound and simple way of allowing recovery and healing to be in our hands. Because when we engage in shameful mindsets and self-deprecating behavior and thoughts, we're giving life to the bad wolf, essentially. We're feeding this negative story and narrative about ourselves, so we're more likely to live in that. So while we don't think that's what we're doing, the effects of it harm ourselves. A lot of the time when you have mental illness, you're clouded because you don't realize that your self-harm behaviors are hurting other people. We hate to see our families or our friends or the ones we love the most hurting them because we hurt ourselves. So it's easy for us to feel shameful about that and to feel like we're bad people and all we do is cause people pain. But the more we stay stuck and engage in it, the more it perpetuates the self-fulfilling prophecy. And the less room there is to allow for growth because ultimately we don't believe that we deserve to grow. If we believe that we're bad people, then we feel we don't deserve good things. So I feel like it's really important to recognize that pattern for ourselves. And that's definitely something that I need to hear. It's something that I want to get tattooed on me as well, the one you feed. Because I always want to be a better person. And there's got to be a little bit of faith in there. Because I do believe what you believe, you become. If we believe that we're never going to amount to anything, or we're worthless, or we're stupid, or we're useless, or we're bad, then we become that in a way. To ourselves, more than anything. We become toxic to ourselves. That's why a good practice is looking at yourself in the mirror directly, developing a personal relationship with yourself, telling yourself good things, journaling good things and traits about yourself, and identifying those positive qualities that you like about yourself. It's gonna feel so fake and so hard at first if you're somebody that can't think of anything, not one thing. It's gonna feel fake and stupid and pointless. But this is also where I hope you guys know that there is a truth in fake it till you make it. There is hope in a recovery and healing process when you pretend and you act as if you like yourself. What if you decided, you know what, let me pretend. Let me from this point on until I feel otherwise, let me pretend that I love myself. Let me pretend that I care about myself. Let me tell myself that I'm pretty, I'm smart, I'm capable, I love myself, I deserve good things. Let me just tell myself that and treat myself as such. And take care of my body and take care of myself and feed myself with good things and act as if I care about myself. Let me just try that. And the more you do that, the more you start to believe it. Because I'm not trying to make this process sound simple and easy. It's not. These are just little tips along the way that have really helped me build the foundation of self-love and self-security and positive self-talk. Might not be a one-size-fits-all, but it's just also what helped me. So we're not born hating ourselves. We're not born thinking negative thoughts about ourselves. We believe those things because we tell ourselves over and over and over. So we started to believe it and started to act like that. And so when we believe that we're stupid, we're worthless, we're useless, it shows in our behavior. We self-harm. We engage in risky behavior. We have anxiety. We have depression. We make assumptions about people that aren't true.